Thanks for tuning in to the Beyond Normal podcast, where we highlight minority business owners and founders, and we use this platform to shed light on their entrepreneur journey. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to the Beyond Normal podcast. My name is Kenny Groom. I am the host. I have a very special guest. I'm excited to have Rashi Arora. She is the founder of Cuddly Tails, which finds trusted dog lovers in your neighborhood for dog sitting and walking activities. We all know, I think, in this COVID environment that dogs are an extension of our family right now. They are a part of our family. And I appreciate Rashi coming on. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Kenny. I'm really excited to be here.
Definitely. I want to kick things off, get right into it with you. Could you give everybody a little bit of a background just to kind of set the table for, how you came to be the co-founder of Cuddly Tails?
Definitely. Hi, everyone. I'm Rashi, as Kenny introduced, founder of Cuddly Tails. I was born and brought up in India with my mom, dad, my brother, my grandparents, and also my dog, Calais. So I really grew up with dogs as a kid. I did my computer science bachelor's back in India, and then I worked with Accenture for a few years. I worked as a developer, and I helped develop multiple web platforms for some of the financial services and telecom clients. And then I wanted to get some business perspective, and that's when I wanted to do master's in information systems from Carnegie Mellon University. So I came to the US and pursued my master's degree. After that, I joined one of the big four consulting firms, and I helped multiple Fortune 500 clients, help them build the technology strategy, help them launch some of the technology products. I ended up working with some great people across EMEA, Asia, of course, Americas, and also worked with people from different backgrounds like business, technology. So I got a great 10-year working experience in the corporate world.
You coming to the States for school, obviously, you wanted to, like you said, you wanted to get that degree. And that kind of leads into the next question. What really kind of sparked your interest in like becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a business owner?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I always grew up with dogs as a kid, and I am like a true dog lover. So when I moved to New York City, I always wanted to get a dog here because I had one back in India with my parents and family. But I knew how challenging it is if you're working full time and traveling sometimes, how challenging it is to take care of the dog. So when I got my dog Sammy 2 years ago, I was traveling for work, and I was just having a conversation with one of my friends who also happened to be a neighbor, mentioning how hard it is to find the trusted care. I really wanted somebody who takes care of my dog, like family, when I'm away. So she offered to help, and she herself, being a dog lover, said she can definitely take care. And that's when the idea sparked on how neighbors or friends around you can help take care of the dogs when you're traveling or any basic needs, right? Also, entrepreneurship really runs in my family. My brother is like an entrepreneur for 10 years now. He has his own marketing and IT firm. So he has clients really globally for this marketing company, and he has developed great products from IT perspective. He has launched multiple digital apps and also done marketing campaigns for some of the biggest firms across. So when this idea sparked, I thought, why I can't be an entrepreneur? I should be doing this, considering my love for dogs, and I have gained so much experience in the corporate world that I can apply those skill sets and build a company myself. So I joined one of the accelerators, CUNY Accelerator. They provide great mentorship. They provide a lot of training, like learning. They give you access to the network that you need to build around you to be a successful entrepreneur. And they also give access to the capital. So I joined that program. I was one of the top 3 teams when I joined that accelerator. And after that, I started really building out the product. I reached out to multiple dog owners, dog lovers in the New Jersey neighborhoods, in the New York City neighborhoods. We as a team visited multiple like dog parks and interviewed people to see how they perceive neighbors and friends taking care of the dogs. And we received really great feedback. We incorporated it. We started with building like a prototype, like a product that people can see and start using. So that's where the idea really started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing that there. You really just kind of went through the entire process of right how you take an idea, how you take that light bulb moment, and then you kind of see it all the way through. I think a lot of times individuals, right, they come with an idea, and then it just sits in that stage, right? They may write it down, and then it just kind of gets lost in the back of their mind. They store it away versus you kind of taking it a step further, asking a couple questions. And I think it's really cool that you are able to utilize that CUNY accelerator program and some of those resources that are out there. You tapped into those resources. How exactly did you find out about that accelerator program?
So, as an entrepreneur, when you're building a company, these days there are so many accelerator programs available outside. If you're a student or join Baruch College, I think they have this opportunity to give to students where people can come up with ideas and they give you that mentorship support, and also that network and access to people who can probably fund you at a later point. So they help you. Do all those activities that's required from the idea to actually start building something. So that was a great resource. And there are other accelerators available outside also, which are similar. But CUNY, I think, is a great accelerator because the kind of support you get is it's really amazing.
Exactly. So you've had some resources. You've been able to take that idea, make it a business. Build out a game plan. Even with all that said, right? You think about COVID, all these things that have happened. Now is like a great kind of learning opportunity, right, for you as a business owner with your co-founders. What is something that you learned throughout this process that you would have liked to know, when you first started out on this path building out Cuddly Tails?
Yeah, definitely. I think there are a few things. One, couple of things that I started mentioning: building your network, mentorship support is the other one, knowing your customer. So, to start with, probably the last one, know your customer, right? That is basically the crux of building your business. So you have to know who your customers are. Why would they use your product, right? What is the problem that you're solving? So when we started interviewing some of the dog owners, we started to see what are the challenges that they currently face while taking care of the dogs, right? If they're traveling or even if they're not traveling in the current COVID times, what do they need for their pet? Because everybody like treats their pet as family, so they needs to be taken care of. So basically getting that feedback from the customers and trying to see how we can incorporate that and help them solve their problem is the first thing that you really need to do. So when we started building out initially, we built an initial version, and then there was a lot of feedback on how would you make sure that the neighbor you can really trust, or he's actually who he's saying. So then we got that feedback. We started incorporating that feedback into our platform, making sure we have like third party checks, a quality check, making sure when we are building the community, it's safe for both the pet parents and also, I mean, the pets, pet parents, and also the neighbors who are actually giving the service, right? So that's how we kept on iterating the product. After version 2, we had a version 2. And then now we are still iterating based on the feedback that they're giving and building it out. So that is definitely important. And then coming back to building your network. So I think that's really important because when you're building a company, you need different things. It's not just that you build a product, right? It's like how the design is going to look like, and then you develop it. How are you going to market it? What is the go-to-market strategy? Your go-to-market strategy for one city can be very different from the other city, or how you're going to market to the dog owners versus the dog lovers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to have that kind of like suggestions coming in or recommendations coming in from the experts who are from different backgrounds, right? So that again ties in with the mentorship. So when you interact with some of this network, you find the right people who can be your mentors, who are probably from the same industry or the same background, or have done or launched the similar companies before, or they already have companies and they are really scaling their companies, right, in any phase, but they can
Mm-hmm.
help you lead in the right direction. When you have an issue, when you have a problem, you go to them and see what can be the different alternatives, different options, and then you see this is the right path for me and I should be following that. So that's how I think like building your network, the mentorship, and knowing your customers are really the top three things for me.
Yes, and all those things that you speak to, I can tell just how your acumen on those different topics. You're leveraging the most out of this situation that we're in right now on COVID, right? Because COVID is forced. It's probably accelerated some of those learning opportunities for entrepreneurs. Going back to COVID, how do you go about staying engaged with your customers during COVID-19 when people are trying to social distance and there's hand sanitizer that, just certain protocols that have to be in place for personal health and safety?
Right. From COVID perspective, I think things have changed a lot. When we initially started, we were speaking to the customers face to face. We were going to the dog parks, getting their feedback. Right now, since the COVID, I think that model has shifted a little bit. Even the business model has shifted a little bit. Right now, because people are working from home, there has been lesser of like the dog walking or the dog boarding activities because people are not traveling as much. But we have seen some of the trends like the dog play groups have increased, because though people are working from home, but there are some big dogs or like puppies who have really high energy and they really need to go outside and run. Even though their parents are sitting at home working,
Mm-hmm.
they still need to go out, burn that energy off. So we started working towards that model and started hosting some of the play groups where humans are not really so involved. It's more for the puppies, or the high energy dogs. So they can come in like group of 3 or 4. They can select that service, and then play for 2-3 hours and burn off that energy. That way pet parents are happy and the puppies have burned off their energy so they can happily relax at home. So that is one of the things. The other thing I would say from COVID perspective is, there are so many pet adoptions are happening more and more because of the COVID. People are at home. We have seen so many shelters go empty because people are adopting more pets now. They need
Mm.
more care. They need more connection. Building that sense of home feeling with their pets. So there have been so many adoptions recently. In terms of like the services, earlier there used to be like an in-person meet and greet. For example, if a neighbor wants to take out your dog and you're going for a vacation, they would meet in person first and see how they feel comfortable with each other, and then take their pets for like the service, right, for walking. But now that has shifted more to the virtual meetings. So they meet over a video call and see that they are comfortable, discuss what his pet likes to do, like sleep, where does he like to sleep, any toys, what kind of toys he likes. Just discuss that over the phone or video call instead of meeting in person. So that is one shift. And also following the regular safety protocols, like when they visit your home, to take your pet, maintaining 6 feet distance, wearing masks, all the safety procedures are definitely put in place. Now, just considering like the pet industry overall, right now it started slowing down because people were working from home, but then there have been more adoptions. So looking at the pet industry report, not this year, probably once the COVID slows down a little bit next year, then it's expected to go really high, between 5 to 6% increase over the next 5 years, which looks very optimistic. It's really great.
And I appreciate you sharing that there, just around some interesting points around COVID. Like you said, people are home, and so the adoption rates are actually going up. And I think that's a good thing when you think about, like you mentioned, the shelters, right? There's less animals sitting there in the shelter because families are at home. You know, they have the time now. They want to have that pet. They want to have that engagement since they're at home. That's something that's pretty cool. And I think
Yeah.
around the pet industry report that you mentioned, just to increase over the next 5 years. You know, I can think in my own city of Charlotte, what we're seeing now. We're seeing, you know, they're building out parks, they're building out trails, they're building out, even though we're becoming a bigger city, they're still trying to find ways for people to have that, you know, that outside feel. You know, remember going to the park when we were younger, right? As millennials, they're still trying to
Yes.
build that into the city, and people having pets, I think, is a part of that, where you want to take your pet, you know, like you said, for a walk. Animals like to be out. I know certain breeds like to, they have that energy, like you said. Younger dogs and bigger dogs, they got
They
a
have
lot of energy.
amazing. They
They need
have
somewhere,
amazing
right?
energy. Yeah,
Yes.
I got my dog Sammy around 3 years ago, and when he was a puppy for like a year and a half, he had so much energy. He would run around everywhere. It's amazing to have pets. Just the experiment shows that if you pet a dog or a puppy for 15 minutes, it's a great stress relief. So in times like this, I think um, it's really great to have a pet and have that feeling that, oh, I feel much safer in my home and much happier when I have my puppy or my dog around me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and building that kind of community using this platform where you can connect with neighbors. You don't need to go to somebody else's place who's really far away. You can just meet a person right here if you need any help related to pets, within your community. So it definitely helps building that community together.
I got it. And so you mentioned something there, something through that around stress, right? In the current situation we're in, we know COVID started impacting us all at the top of the year. February,
Yeah.
on is when most of us started feeling the major impacts of that. The kind of the pandemic number two, right? That is really the topic of conversation right now, is just, the social and really the kind of the racial inequalities that are being highlighted right now. I know there's a lot of conversations going on. So for you, given your background, like you said, you came to the States for school. How are those conversations around racial and social inequalities impacting you and your business in 2020?
Yeah, I mean, whatever has been happening in 2020, I think it's really difficult and even difficult to have these kind of conversations, right? I would say, from my perspective, we need to have more empathy towards each other, right? We need to be more supportive towards each other. It doesn't matter what the cultural background is or what the ethnicity is or, where you come from. It's more about supporting each other when you need it, considering the COVID and whatever has been happening this year. I think it has been really difficult for everyone, right? Considering like the diverse teams I've been part of, as part of the corporate life or from the startup culture, I would say I've always welcomed people from different cultures, different ethnicities, because I think everybody brings their own set of ideas. Everybody has different mindsets, different perspectives. And when everybody gathers in a room, right, they brainstorm with different perspectives. And that's how the innovation is done. That's how you get the best ideas out of that, right? It can be very different, yes, when you are a minority female and in a group, but it also serves, I think, an opportunity for you to show your skill set and also learn from people from other cultures or other backgrounds and build it. I think I have definitely thrived in those kind of environments and used those as opportunity to build my skills and bringing that from corporate life to building my own startup. I think it has definitely helped me. I also had like a great startup supportive community, I would say. I always had mentors who were not necessarily from my background or my culture, but they always, provided like the effort, the time needed to help me bring those opportunities and help me grow in the right direction. So I think it had been definitely the thriving opportunities that I found along the way. So I see it as a positive when different people come from different backgrounds, because you get this fresh mindset that you wouldn't see if you're just working with the same set of people around you.
Exactly. And I think you touched on a couple of things there just around people bringing their different perspectives, different skill sets. You add value to any situation that I know that I'm not going to add, and then vice versa, right? There's different, we each and every person is going to have their strengths and their opportunity areas. I think what's cool is that for you really tapped into that really throughout the whole process that you built your business. You even mentioned early on with the mentors, right? A lot of your mentors, they don't necessarily come from your background, but they have domain expertise in some of the areas where you want to build out your business and your capabilities for your business. So it naturally makes sense for you to have those conversations with people right outside of your circle that may not necessarily look like you, or to your point, that come from your culture.
Right. Yeah, it has been an amazing experience. I mean, I would say startup community in general is very supportive, considering whatever we have gone through in COVID times and also before that. I think the way they have supported in terms of like refining the business model, or what strategy do you need to come up with, because you can't do in-person marketing, or because you can't reach out to people. So having those conversations, and also building in the fact that what is happening around us in the world, they can just help. I mean, depending on if they are from the same culture, they'll probably not able to see what the differences are, right? And if you get perspectives from different people, you get that perspective from each mindset, and it gives you like a fresh outlook on what you can do. Sometimes you'll have a conversation like, oh, I never thought of that. Just coming from a different background, it can give you like a lot of value.
Definitely. And so I want to switch things up a little bit. We all have been going through 2020, dealing with COVID, the conversations around just the racial inequalities. What are you looking forward to, as you close out this year and you start to think about moving forward into 2021 and beyond? What are you looking forward to coming up on the horizon for you and Cuddly Tails?
Definitely. So from Cuddly Tails perspective, we have a live version on the Android and app stores, where people can actually go and sign up. If you're a dog owner, you can, go sign up and hang out with dogs. Just spending 15-20 minutes during a day, it can really help you with the stress, or, just have like a happy feeling when you're around pets. So we are currently launched in Jersey City neighborhoods. We are looking to launch in New York City neighborhoods pretty soon. So once we launch into New York City, after that we want to look at other urban areas, probably cities like Chicago or Boston, where the dog owner population is really high, and then move to the west over next few years. We're looking to 3 to 6 months. We are looking to see we have happy customers, we have dog lovers who can really hang out with dogs and have fun with them, have a good time, and also for dog owners to have some free time, and make sure that their pets are really taken care of.
Mm-hmm. And Rashi, can you please let everybody know how they can reach out, stay connected with Cuddly Tails and all the things that you're working on?
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to be like a neighborhood sitter, you can actually sign up on Cuddly Tails app on Android or App Store. And there is a website that you can check out, www.cuddlytails.com. I am very active on LinkedIn, so if you want to reach out to me for any mentoring related support, or if you just need to have a discussion, or need to give any feedback, any comments, or share anything, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active there.
Appreciate that, Rashi. Appreciate you coming on for an episode, sharing your background, giving your perspective, sharing your entrepreneur journey. as you've built out Cuddly Tails with your co-founders, this is definitely what the Beyond Normal podcast is here for, is to hear from minority entrepreneurs and founders like yourself. And just conversations like this that we're having, I feel like, you're sharing a lot of wealth of knowledge coming on my platform, and I'm learning as well about that pet industry. Like you said, pets are an extension of people's families right now. And right now, that family dynamic, is changing in front of all of us in 2020, but we know now more than ever that family is really, really, really important for all of us in terms of just balance, just having balance, just having a solid foundation. Family is truly important at this time, and it will be moving forward as well. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to the Beyond Normal podcast. You'll be able to catch this episode on all major streaming platforms within the next week or so. And, looking forward to seeing what Rashi and Cuddly Tails builds out in terms of capabilities, in terms of serving those pet owners and their pets. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to the Beyond Normal podcast.
Thanks, Kenny. It was a pleasure speaking to you today.
Thanks for tuning in to the Beyond Normal podcast. We can be streamed across all major streaming platforms in addition to YouTube. Come back again.